Hi, I'm Amy Robinson, Vice President of Communications with the Direct Selling Association. There's an important legislative issue in California right now, the outcome of which could affect millions of independent contractors, such as realtors, taxi drivers, and many in the construction field. However, I'd like to tell you specifically how it will affect more than 1.8 million direct sellers in California. First, who are direct sellers? DSA represents about 250 direct selling companies and their independent sellers, including those 1.8 million Californians. Direct sellers are individuals who are compensated for selling products and services for companies, many of which are familiar brand names including Avon, Mary Kay, Herbalife, Longaberger, and many, many more. You may have seen recent media coverage that describes direct selling as a recession-resistant industry that tends to do quite well during a recession, based on the income opportunities it offers and the wide range of products with something for everyone, even in times when people may be considering carefully how they spend their money. So what's going on in California that's going to impact direct sellers there? In its desperate attempt to address the budget crisis in California, the legislature is looking for any possible way to make the numbers work. One proposal passed by the conference committee that could be voted on as early as Monday, June 22nd, includes an accounting gimmick that would withhold 3% on any payments made to independent contractors, including direct sellers. 3% may not seem like a lot, but when you look closer, that 3% could have serious implications for many direct sellers and the state of California itself. Let's look at the state first. On paper, the proposal is estimated to provide about $1.9 billion in revenue the first year, but the facts tell a different story. Direct sellers already have a very high tax compliance rate, so very little new revenue will be gained through this process. And California's Franchise Tax Board has even stated that at just a 2% withholding rate, almost 70% of independent contractors will be over withheld, and more than 40% of amounts will be in excess of tax owed. The state will spend precious resources to collect money that they'll just have to return at the end of the year. Further, the Franchise Tax Board says that by 2011, the state will realize a significant loss from independent contractor withholding. Knowing the future implications, this policy is nothing more than an accounting gimmick that has the potential to place the state in an even more dire situation than it currently faces. Lawmakers should be looking for real solutions, not ones that merely provide an illusion of progress. Now let's look at the implications for direct sellers. Most direct sellers are hardworking citizens who count on their direct selling income to help support their families. They are compensated based on sales of products and services, and many are also compensated based on the sales of others they have recruited and trained. For most, their income is modest, but many rely on this steady cash flow to meet their family's needs. When the state decides to borrow some of that already minimal income for the better part of a year, these families lose. It's like giving an interest-free loan to the government. In today's tough economic times, citizens certainly aren't getting interest-free loans from lenders, so why should they be expected to loan their money to the government interest-free instead of having immediate access to those funds? It's also likely that many people will be paying far in excess of what they actually owe. Tax will be withheld on the entire amount of payment from the company to the direct seller. What is not taken into consideration are funds the direct sellers use to support their businesses or compensate those who work for them. The net result of this program will be no new revenue for the state, high administrative costs to manage the program, most of which will be used to return the money to taxpayers at the end of the year, an administrative burden on small businesses that use independent contractors, and over-withholding on millions of taxpayers who would otherwise be spending that money and helping the California economy to recover. This proposal is bad for business, bad for the state, and bad for Californians. Please contact your legislators and the governor now and ask them to remove independent contractor withholding from the budget proposal or exempt direct sellers from any such proposal.